What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Headbanger's Closet. Appreciate all you guys checking out the channel. Today is September 7th, 2021. You know what that means? Metallica's And Justice for All turns 33 years old today. And Justice for All is the fourth full-length studio record. Came out September 7th, 1988. I was just a kid, just turned 13, about a week or so before this album even came out. And although I liked Metallica, I've mentioned it before on this channel, I kind of became a fan, not a huge fan, but a fan when the Garage Days EP came out. I thought it was a really cool record. Didn't even know it was an EP back then. I was just kind of a stupid kid, but I really liked it. But was still listening to bands like Motley Crue, Poison, Warrant, Whitesnake, Dawkins, Cinderella at that time. You know, I was an MTV kid, so I was loving the hair bands. And I still do to this day, but when I heard Injustice for All, that was a game changer for me, and I became a thrash fan, so I'd get into some other bands. But Metallica was always the one that just was the best to me. And out of the best comes this one, which I feel is Metallica's best album. It's my favorite Metallica record, and it's also my favorite heavy metal record of all time. So, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you kind of know the format I like to do when an album has a birthday. And I'm going to follow that same format for this one, but it's going to be a little bit longer. Because this is such a special album for me, I want to show you guys everything I have related to this record in my collection, minus all the different t-shirts. This is the only Justice shirt that I'm going to show you guys because I'm wearing it. And I'm not going to show you guys all like the publications and magazines I got. When Justice turned 25, like every metal publication and Guitar Mag decided to do like an ode to Injustice for All issue. And of course I bought them all. I'm not going to go show you everything. It'll be a freaking hour episode. And I don't want to keep it that long. So we're just going to show you everything else I got. CDs, records, and the whatnot. And a few other things. And yeah, we'll just tell some stories about the album and why I love it. It's a flawless record in my opinion. I truly believe this is the best work from all four guys. And I know that's weird because there's really not much Jason on it. In fact, there's no Jason bass, but what Jason has on this record is a writing credit on the best song on the album, and possibly my third or fourth favorite Metallica song of all time. Definitely in the top 5, and that's Blackened. So that's the first song I want to talk about today. Like I said, it's a phenomenal record. Great riff, but when the song starts, you actually get that kind of backwards guitar thing going on, the two guitar harmony backwards piece, and then James Hetfield just riffing right away, and right away you know this is a thrash song that only Metallica can deliver. And then Kurt kind of jumps in with Lars and the drums and the bass, obviously, even though you can't hear it, and then just goes into the song, and it just typical war theme, apocalypse theme from Metallica that we've heard before from some of the songs on the previous 3 records, but this is just better. Blistering song, first 2 verse and chorus, great, kind of real catchy the way he delivers the lyrics on this song, and all the songs on the album, just quintessential Hetfield in my opinion. And you find yourself singing along really early on the first time I heard it, and it goes into that killer bridge with just a guitar that's just so heavy and like opposition, contradiction, and then after that it goes right into this ripping Kirk Hammett guitar solo. It just sets the tone for the entire album. I honestly believe this is some of Kirk's best work, from the solo on Blackened to the last finger walk parts on the solo for Dyer's Eve. Album as a whole is his best work in my opinion. So it's a great tune. Like I said, it's a ripping guitar solo, and then after the solo they kind of play the main riff a little different. I don't really know what that's called because I'm not a musician, but you know what I'm talking about. It just goes into that main guitar riff, but the little 2 parts on the end just a little bit different. It's like they play them backwards or something. So really cool, great tune. They opened up that tour, the Justice tour, with it, and still to this day, whenever I see them play, they play that song, I'm just going bananas, singing along, air guitar, headbanging, whatnot. So I love the tune. So great tune. And so like I said, I'm going to show you guys my collection, talk a little bit about each song as I go through things. And the first item I want to show you guys is the first album. First U.S. pressing, my bad. First U.S. pressing on Elektra Records. It's 2 record set, both of them. You get this little, the Metallica logo right there, but then the first one you get a picture of the guys and some lyrics and some liner notes. And the label's just the cover artwork, and there's the Elektra Records logo right there. And then just like the album cover is the white with the, you know, the concrete crack through it, and then the green Metallica logo. Second record is basically the same thing, only this one you get the lyrics and then the pus head Hammer of Justice 4 guys faces artwork, which is really, really cool, which was featured on the back of a lot of the shirts from that Justice era. So yeah, next item I want to show you guys is basically the first UK pressing. It's almost identical to the first US pressing, only this one is on Vertigo Records. Same thing. Yeah, exact same thing, but yeah. Good buddy of mine sold this to me a long time ago, so really cool. Song Justice for All clocks in at 9 minutes 44 seconds. I've heard interviews from Kirk when he talked about playing it live that he kind of would look down at the crowd and they'd be kind of bored. And I kind of get it. I got a funny story about that as well. When I was in college at URI, I had a professor named Professor Anderson. She was a really cool lady, but she was a super big hippie. Like, always talked about how she was, you know, smoking dope in the 60s, protesting the Vietnam War, getting arrested all the time at protests and shit like that. And one day she asked us to bring in a song and play it for the class that had to do, like, you know, with an anti-government type of song. Well, the song I picked was Injustice for All. And I printed out the lyrics, gave them out to everybody in the class. And, you know, the lyrics, it takes a little bit of time when the song plays for James to start singing. And right away I could tell, like, everybody in the class, like, was not having it. They were just bored off their ass, just like, you know, it's too long. And me and this one other dude were loving it. You know, he turned out to be a big heavy metal fan. We became friends actually after that class. But you know, the teacher, you know, Professor Anderson, wasn't into it. She said it was way too long, and because it was so long, only 2 other kids got to play their songs that class. But whatever, she said the lyrics were really cool. She enjoyed reading the lyrics, and she said it went perfectly with the assignment, so I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, great tune. They played that song. I've heard it a number of times live, but probably my favorite time they've ever played it was at Bonnaroo, and I wasn't expecting it. They played Bonnaroo June of 2008, and like I said, didn't expect that song at all. They come out and start playing it, and it sounded so good, and I just was like, I was loving it. I mean, that just made the entire show for me. It was a great concert, but them playing Justice for All really just kind of was icing on the cake for me for that show. So next item in the collection I'm going to show you guys is a recent one. This is the Walmart colored vinyl that come out Blackened Records, a Walmart exclusive. It came out this past January. Green vinyl. Oh shoot, just dropped the download card. My bad. That's kind of cool. I mean, look, I've heard some people complain that they released it at Walmart. Walmart exclusive, why not do it at a record store? But, you know, whatever. You know, we can't have everything in a perfect world, but I think the fact that they did these colored vinyls that kind of match the color of the album artwork is really cool. This is the Blackened Records logo and the black label with the green Metallica writing, which matches the green album, which I think is really cool. So, song number 3 on the album is Eye of the Beholder, and kind of before we get to the story on that, I'll show you guys something else. I just got just a sealed version of the Walmart green one. So, Eye of the Beholder is pretty cool. It's kind of like another, like, you know, kind of like, I don't want to say anti-government, but for lack of a better term, that's what we're going to call it, you know. Freedom with their exception, you know, is one of the lyrics. So it's kind of one of those, you know, government kind of tells you what to do, even though you think you're free, you know. But anyway, kind of a cool story about that one is my buddy Larry was in the Army. He was in like a tank back when the second Gulf War, they invaded Iraq, and he told me that they were about to start the war. They were about to invade Iraq. They were all on the line right over the Kuwaiti border, just waiting for the word to go. They were going to roll through Iraq with the tanks, and he said somebody, you know, queued up Eye of the Beholder on the company-wide, you know, radio frequency, and through all of the tanks, like 100 or so tanks or whatever, he said, as far as you could see, left and right, there were just tanks and vehicles ready to go, and everyone was listening to it. He said the hair on his arms and the back of his neck stood up, and he got super pumped, like he wasn't afraid anymore. He just got super pumped and ready to go, and he said about halfway through the song, they got the word to go, and they just mashed the gas and crossed that border and invaded Iraq. So, you know, I'm not looking to glorify war and killing here, but I thought that was a pretty cool story. And that my buddy Larry told me, that kind of got him fired up. And I know whenever I hear any of the songs off this record, I get fired up as well. So, kind of closing things out with some of the vinyl here. It's Blackened Recordings remastered when they did the box set. They kind of re-released everything, and I picked up a couple of these albums and just kind of kept them sealed. This CD is the same way. This is the 3 CD set where you get the album, then you get a CD of demos, and you get one of the live CDs that's on the box set as well on there, so that's pretty cool. Let's see, here's another one, same thing with the remasters, just the CD here, gatefold, and then basically the lyrics and all that is same as I showed you from everything else. So a couple of singles I got. Here's the one US single. So you get one, then you get From the Bell Tolls Live and Sanitarium Live. It's pretty cool. Here is the Harvester of Sorrow CD single with Harvester of Sorrow, Bread Fan, and the Prince. Here is the Japanese version of one, where you get one radio version and then the unedited, like 7 minutes 42 seconds or 7 minutes 20 seconds, whatever. Yeah, 7:23. Then you get Bread Fan, From the Bell Tolls Live, and Sanitarium Live. It's pretty cool. And the inside cover is just that right there. It's kind of neat. This one right here is actually a bootleg. You get the Harvester of Sorrow, the One, and the Whiplash single covers, and then the live Harvester of Sorrow, Bread Fan, and One live version, which is on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like live, kind of like multi-EP set. This is the back of it. This is a bootleg on Ear Pain Records, and I really like this bootleg. There's a handful of the early stuff, like Jump in the Fire, Whiplash, Seek, Destroy, Phantom Lord, which is that fake canned crowd noise live. But you do get Harvester of Sorrow 1 and Bread Fan live from one of the shows off the Justice Tour, and they sound phenomenal. Love James's between song banter. And I got this a really long time ago, like right after the album came out. So I got the album on cassette and then picked it up on CD, and then maybe like a year or two later picked this thing up. So that was like my first introduction to Metallica live before I saw them on the Monsters of Rock tour with Van Halen. I was like the summer prior to the album coming out, I believe, and I don't really remember because I was really young. But anyway, yeah, From the Bell Tolls Live and Sanitarium Live from the Puppets tour, which is pretty cool. And here's this CD I had all through high school and college. I played as like all my other CDs just busted. The CD actually just falls out. So next song on the album is One, the 4th song on the record. Like I said, it comes in at 7 minutes 23 seconds. Awesome song, really great anti-war song. I love the video, and that's kind of where the story for this one comes up. They announced on MTV that they were going to premiere Metallica's first ever video on Headbangers Ball that weekend. So me and my friends at school were like, what song are they going to play? And there were 4 of us that loved Metallica and always talked about Metallica, and none of us knew what song it was going to be. None of us were right either. None of us picked the song it was going to be. None of us picked one, but I ended up having to go to sleep. I couldn't stay up that late, but my mom was like, okay, you can get up and watch it. So I set my alarm, got up, watched Headbangers Ball, and was completely surprised. Right away, the song One was always on Dial MTV with Adam Curry, and it was right up there with like number 1 or number 2 most requested song for each day. So I watched that video all the time. Great video. Was really kind of disturbing. Like I remember the VJ saying, it was kind of a really depressing video, and I kind of remember being a little weirded out and freaked out about it. A lot of the scenes from that movie, the dude's basket case, no arms, no legs, blind and deaf, from stepping on a landmine, or the artillery shell in the video blowing up like in his foxhole, and that kind of was like, that was disturbing to me. But it still is to this day. But I got older and wasn't such a baby, I guess, and I just kind of realized that just shit happens in war. But perfect video for the song. But great tune. So the next thing I want to show you guys is some more singles. Here's the One 7-inch single with One and then the Prince. And then here is the Eye of the Beholder 7-inch with Bread Fan on side 2. And if you've got the 12-inch version of this, you've got a rare item, and that's very expensive. I believe my good buddy VK from the Zepperl channel had this and sold it. VK, let me know in the comments below if I got that story right. Here we go with the Harvester of Sorrow 12-inch single. And this one is just the Vertigo Records version. It's kind of cool. here's one that's, I believe this is a different version. It's got different label. Yeah, so there's the label right there on one side. The other side's the puss head artwork, which is pretty cool. And here we've got the one US single, which is cool. I really like the label on this one. It's the one with all the bullet holes, which I think is really sharp. And then, last but not least, on the 12-inch singles is the one single gatefold version. And then you get so there's a bunch of pages here. There's Lars. You can read some of that. And then James and Kirk. And then Jason, and a pretty cool live shot of Lars right there. And then you get the actual record, which is nothing special. It's just all black label right there. Looks kind of cool though. So the album came out, like I said, come out September 7th, 1988. I didn't hear it right away. My brother lived in Virginia, and he was actually the one that took me to the Monsters of Rock show when they were touring all of this, but the album I don't think it had come out yet. At least I don't think it did. I was like 12, so anyway, but story behind how I heard this album for the first time. So my brother and I were in the car with my mom and stepdad, and he was listening to a CD or a cassette tape Walkman with Justice for All. I was doing the same thing with Warrants, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinking Rich. And because I knew who Metallica was and liked them, he's like, well, do you want to switch? I was like, yeah, sure. So he handed me the cassette tape, and I put it in my Walkman. And the first song I heard was The Shortest Straw. And when I first heard that riff, that's when the world changed for me. I said this album was a game changer for me, and that was the first song. The first song off side 2 is what I heard, Shortest Straw. Great tune, still one of my favorite songs of Metallica to this day. Killer guitar riff, awesome chorus and verses, great guitar solo, just more of the same from this record, just a phenomenal tune. And here is the Pusshead artwork for Shortest Straw that comes on the box set. So I'm going to show you guys the box set now. So we got the, looks like 10-inch picture disc of 1. We got a Captains of Crunch laminate and set list. And we got some patches here. Got the 1 patch. We have got a Doris and Justice for All patch. We've got a Shortest Straw and Vertigo You Will Be patch, and then just the Pusshead 4 Guys Hammer of Justice Crushes You patch. It's kind of cool. And I've talked about this next one before as probably the best live video of all time, right up there with Iron Maiden's Live After Death. This would be the Seattle 89 from the live ship Binge and Purge. Well, this is the record audio version of that. Gatefold. I'll show you one of the albums. I don't want to make a massively long video, but I'll show you guys the album right here. Seattle 89. And then, so the next song on the record is Harvester of Sorrow, which is on the Seattle 89 show. Phenomenal song. Really heavy, just real kind of slow and kind of like chugging along, heavy song, kind of like reminds me of like a Sad But True, which would come on the next record. But whenever Harvester of Sorrow gets played live, no matter what city I'm in, whenever that song gets played live, the crowd goes absolutely apeshit crazy. And he always has a pretty cool like intro to it, which starts off on the Seattle 89. Like, this is a song that's good when you smack things together, like your hands, your heads, your vocal cords, your tits, whatever you got, man. Harvester of Sorrow. You know, it's kind of every time he plays that song live, or when they play that song live, he's got like something kind of interesting to say about it like that. So here's the record. Harvester of Sorrow, like, you know, I love that part where the guitar solo ends and it stops, and then it's like, all I've said there, prayers. I really like how that thing stops. Got some more Pusshead art right here. with some James Hetfield lyric notes and some doodles. Set list right there. And then you get a book, a Ross Halfin book right here. Hang on a second, I'll knock this thing on the ground here. This is pretty cool. I'm going to have to do an entire episode just on this box set, but it's an entire book filled with badass Ross Halfin photos. So really, really cool. And then you get, which I love about the box sets, all the little extra things they stick in. Like, you know, obviously you get the record, you get some interviews, you get riffs, jams, and demos. This other one is rough mixes from the vault. And then you get Live at the Troubadour, West Hollywood, California, May 24th, and B-Sides. This is a 2 CD live show, which is cool, plus some B-Sides. Then you get Live at Long Beach Arena, Long Beach, California, December 7th, 1988. CD 1 and 2. You get Live at Hammersmith Odeon, London, England, October 10th, 1988, and radio. There's also CDs. And then you get some DVDs right here, which is really cool. Live and camcorders for all. Live at the Shoreline Amphitheater, Mountain View, California. 2 DVD set. And then another one, which is Live at the Stone Ballroom, Justice on Wheels, and raw footage from a Delaware show on DVD as well. So really, really cool stuff with the box set. This video really doesn't do the box sets justice, if you will. I might have to do a video just on these box sets because there's that much stuff with them. So, next song is Frayed Ends of Sanity, and one of my all-time favorite songs one of my favorite songs on the album. I keep saying all the time. Great song, killer guitar riff. I love the intro with like the oh, like the Wizard of Oz thing there. Really cool. Killer underrated guitar solo by Kirk. It's just a phenomenal guitar solo. One of my favorite songs on the record. It's an actual song that I always loved, but I didn't really appreciate fully until recently. But I try to, a lot of times lately, I'll put on Justice for All, and I'll go right to that song first, and then I'll restart the album. So a couple more things to show you guys. Here is a picture disc. This is a Brazilian bootleg picture disc. Go right there. And this other picture disc I have as well is a bootleg, but I don't know where it's from. I've had this one for quite a while. Picture disc right there. And I talked a little bit earlier about, you know, James' lyrical content, and this is being an album where there's a couple songs where you can kind of hear, you know, have something personal to him. Well, the instrumental, I know it's not really an instrumental, but to me, let's just call it an instrumental. There's only just a couple of lines in the song. To Live Is to Die, coming in at 9 minutes, 48 seconds. Longest song on the record by just 3 seconds. Great tune. Really cool melodic, a lot of dual guitar harmonies and melodic guitar work on this record. One of the 2 phenomenal solos, I might add, in the song is actually done by James. I believe it's the first solo of the song is done by James. The next one's done by Kirk. Both of them sound great. James's solo is kind of like really hauntingly beautiful type of guitar solo. And this song Cliff Burton's got a writing credit on this song, and you can kind of tell, even though there's not a lot of lyrics in it, singing, you can kind of tell that playing this means something to them. Just by listening to it, just the way it goes, just the feel and the vibe of the tune. Really cool song. I love it. Even though it's not a true instrumental, it's still my favorite Metallica instrumental. And then the lyrics, I believe, is something that Cliff always used to say. Great tune. And then the last song on the record is Dyer's Eve. It's the shortest song on the album, which comes in at 5 minutes and 13 seconds. Really cool song. One of those tunes you can kind of just hear the lyrics and read the lyrics and just kind of know James is singing about a personal experience. Just kind of hits home type of song. You know, you kind of feel for the guy and feel for the kid that's kind of like singing the song, you know. But great riffs, real fast, technical song. They don't play it very often at all because I've heard they've said it's just really hard for them to play. But again, another just phenomenal solo by Kirk. The end of the solo's got this kick-ass Eddie Van Halen like finger walk kind of deal on the fretboard. Really cool. So yeah, awesome album. It's flawless in my opinion. And we're coming down to the last 2 items in the collection I want to show you guys. The last one is a poster, a limited edition Doris and Justice for All poster that came out right around the time, like I said, they re-released the album with the box set and all the remastered versions. This thing came out. Knew I had to pick it up just because how much I love the album. And I got to get it framed. I got to get my other posters framed. I got about 30 posters framed, and they're not on the walls. There's a weird reason why they're not on the walls. If you have seen me and VK's from the Zepro channel, our live stream, I kind of talk about it there. But very soon, I'll start having these things on the walls for you guys to see. And the very last item in my collection of Injustice for All is the crown jewel of my collection. This is the 2008 Warner Brothers released, a louder, faster, heavier, 45 RPM. It comes in a black, standard black vinyl version, and then the green. Well, this one is the green. You guys know how much I love colored vinyl. They basically, just like the Walmart version, is just a little bit different. You get one song on each side, side A and side B. Alright, so I'm just going to show you one of the albums. There's no need to show you every single one. They're all the same. Well, much like the Walmart version, it's just black label with the green font to match the album, in the vinyl rather. So really, really cool. You can pick up the black version for a lot cheaper than the green, but I really, really wanted this green one in my collection, so I kind of held out looking for it for the right price. I actually found it from a guy right here in Georgia, so that was kind of cool. So yeah, that's my Justice for All collection. It's my favorite Metallica album. Like I said, it's probably right up there as my favorite heavy metal of all time, heavy metal album of all time. I just think it's that good. It's, like I said, the Metallica we come to know and love from the first 3 records, but everything is done just a little bit better in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think about the album. Is this their best one? Leave me a comment down below, hit that like and subscribe button, and yeah, I'll have another video for you guys very soon. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and as always, cheers guys.